I hired a translator so I could understand my Chinese grandmother's final words. Halfway through, the translator's face went pale and she said, "I don't think I should tell you what she's saying. My mom died giving birth to me. My dad drank himself to death when I was 2, meaning my grandmother raised me from the day I was born. As a kid, I spoke Cantonese fluently, but at 22, I got into a car accident that essentially cooked my brain. I was in a coma for 3 weeks, and when I woke up, the doctors told me my prefrontal cortex might as well have gone 12 rounds with prime Mike Tyson. I had to relearn everything. Walking, talking, even wiping myself was a struggle. I got my English back after 2 years of speech therapy, but my Cantonese never came back. Even after 7 years, I couldn't speak a word. Fast forward to now, my grandma had been in hospice for 2 weeks and was mostly unconscious, until one miracle day when she suddenly became lucid and started pacing around the room. She was asking for me urgently, saying she had something to admit and couldn't die in peace without doing so. When I heard the news, I hired a translator and rushed to the hospital. The translator arrived within 30 minutes. My grandmother was grabbing my hand from the moment I sat down. She started speaking to the translator in Cantonese, fast, urgent, crying through her speech. She kept pointing at my wedding ring. The translator's face changed. What is she saying? The translator looked uncomfortable. This is life-changing. Are you sure you want to know? Yes, I need to hear it before it's too late. The translator hesitated. She's talking about your wife Gwen, about how you met her. I was confused. What about it? Gwen and I had met 6 years ago at a coffee shop, right after my recovery. The translator kept listening to my grandmother. She's saying, she paid Gwen to meet you. My stomach dropped. What? My grandmother was speaking faster now. 7 years ago, after your accident, you were very depressed. You'd lost your autonomy. You were talking about ending your life. I remembered that period, the darkest time of my life. The translator continued. Your grandma says she was terrified of losing you, so she contacted a companionship service and paid a woman to approach you, to befriend you, to make you have someone so maybe you'd want to live again. That woman was Gwen. My grandmother was crying harder. She says the arrangement was supposed to be for 6 months. You were never supposed to fall in love with her. My world was tilting. My wife only introduced herself to me because she was paid? Paid to fall in love with me? I asked. The translator asked my grandma, but she just looked at me like she couldn't bring herself to say yes. My knees were shaking. Had Gwen ever truly loved me? Then I remembered something. Gwen had been working overtime every Tuesday and Thursday for the past 6 months. She said it was mandatory, but our joint account never had any extra income. She told me, oh, the overtime pay goes into a separate savings account, and changed the subject. I didn't push because I trusted her. But now it was clicking differently. Had Gwen been meeting someone else those nights? I needed to confront her. I was starting to tear up when my grandmother reached under her pillow and pulled out an old receipt. Elite Companionship Services, dated 6.5 years ago with my grandmother's signature at the bottom. Grandma spoke one more time, barely a whisper. The translator said, she's saying Gwen loves you, really loves you. You have to believe that. But I was spiraling. How could I? My grandmother died 15 minutes later. I held her and cried until like never before. Then I drove home. When I walked through the door, Gwen was awake on the couch. She stood up. How is she? She's gone. Gwen moved to hug me, but I didn't hug back. We need to talk. I showed her the receipt and told her everything. Her face went pale as she sat down slowly. She told you. Yeah, why wasn't it you who told me though? Gwen's eyes filled with tears. I was going to tell you. I was. But how do you explain that what started as a job became real? I stared at her. How can I believe it's real? How can I believe the overtime every Tuesday and Thursday isn't you seeing someone else? Did you ever actually love me? Gwen was crying now. I can't hide this anymore. My stomach dropped. She looked around our apartment, tears falling. She didn't say anything, just went to our bedroom closet and pulled out a binder. She opened it. Bank statements fell onto the coffee table. A separate savings account I'd never seen with $20,000. I've been saving the overtime money every penny. I was going to surprise you next month for our 4-year anniversary. She pulled out another paper, a real estate listing for the house I dreamed of owning. The one I always said, someday we'll slow dance in that kitchen. I have almost enough for the down payment. I was going to show you, tell you we could finally have our own home. I stared at the papers. Gwen was crying harder. I fell in love with you 6 years ago. I stayed because I wanted to. You're the love of my life. I looked at the money, at the house listing with the kitchen where we'd cook together, at Gwen's face, devastated and raw and true. You've been destroying yourself for 6 months to buy us a house. She nodded, could barely speak. We are real. I need you to believe that. I pulled her close. I do. We bought the house 4 months later.